It's the last live stream of the year here on the Basic Joomla channel, and I'm going to talk about my plans for success in 2025 and look back on, did I reach any of my plans that I set last year for 2024? Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning into this Watch Me Work live stream happening rarely on a Friday. Here on the Basic Joomla channel, where I show you my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. Also work on Joomla sites, build them, maintain them, migrate them. If you're looking to hire someone short-term or long-term, or just to get you out of a spot, send me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, and let's talk. Today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, mysites.guru. Do you have a Joomla site? Of course you do. Head on over to mysites.guru, get a free site audit for it, and check out all the tools and information that will save you time and money managing one or multiple Joomla sites. And if you sign up, you get your first month free. I think you do anyways, but throw in the code Basic Joomla just to let you know, that you signed up through the channel here. All right, so another word about mysites.guru. I was working for a client over the holidays here. But before Christmas, their site was hacked. They don't host with me. They're not on my monthly management package. But so mysites.guru was very instrumental in finding hacked files. And there was actually it's a new hack that wasn't showing up in audits yet in my sites. And I talked with, showed Phil Taylor that. And then he adjusted things, and we found even more hacked files than the ones that I could see. So that was really good. All right, like I said, this is a rare live stream for on a Friday. Usually I live stream on Wednesday, but that's Christmas this year, and also New Year's Day this year. And so being busy both of those days, probably New Year's morning, be too tired. Plus I got kids coming over to stay for New Year's and grandkids. Then I thought, well, we're just going to squeeze it in at some point. And so here we are on the December 27th, 2024. And we're going to, I'm going to share with you my plans. Now, I was listening a bit to my stream from last year. It almost seems a little bit selfish or self-centered to be talking about my plans for success. But first of all, it's just me here on the live stream. In fact, I don't even know if anybody is watching right now, possibly. But also, years ago, I was really stuck for a topic the last Wednesday of the year. So I thought, I'll talk about my plans for success. And then when I looked back the next year, I noticed that I'd actually reached some of my goals or made progress towards them. And I thought, okay, this is a good thing to do. So I do it every year. I hope, my hope in sharing this with you is inspiration. Maybe it will inspire you, some of my ideas. Maybe some of my failures will inspire you too, to be comfortable, to give yourself a break. Because, one of the things about setting goals is get you going in the right direction, even if you don't hit them or achieve them right away. Or maybe they change along the way. It's good to keep us on track. So for instance, I had lots of goals for 2020. And then the pandemic hit, and so my goals and perspective on things changed and had to adapt. And then, of course, sharing just helps me to move forward. But actually, looking back is really good because I'll say, and I'll talk about this in a little while, in the last 12 months, especially in the last 3 months, some pretty amazing things have been happening for me in my life so far as personal development and growth goes. So without further ado, let's turn our attention over to the screen here. And I've got my notes here from last year. And so let's start off. I'll just share with you how I was doing with my business plans and personal plans for 2024. We'll start out with business plans. So one of my goals in 2024 was to have a clean desk policy here in my office. And so my goal for that, and I also have this, I have 3 things starting out. Clean desk, computer off, and that's computer off every night, and a 0 inbox, no emails waiting for me to deal with them. excuse me for sneezing. No emails left in my inbox for me to have to deal with. So let me tell you how I did on that. My clean desk goal. I have achieved that. I give myself 100% on that. Even though sometimes at night I have a few things sitting out to remind me what needs to be done, and but I do not have a cluttered desk anymore. And let me tell you, that was really powerful change for me in my business, because when I come down to the desk, I work at home. When I come down the desk every morning and it is now clean, I'm not overwhelmed by thinking like, oh my goodness, look at this mess. And clutter just drags and draws energy out of you. And I certainly found that with clutter on my desk. So I still have a few more things that I would like to have on my desk, but some of them, I got some rocks painted by a grandkid and something my grandson made. That's all great. I've got 3 mugs right now. I think I'm going to be able to get rid of one of them because I will that'll probably come up a little while later what I was doing, but with the extra mug. But yeah, so the clean desk worked really well for me. I really enjoy it, and it has just become a habit now. So I know every night what I do is I these glasses, I put them down in the corner of the desk. I have my other glasses that I wear regularly. I put them on. I organize the one mug that I've got, just get it all centered. I'll put away anything that's sticking out. The odd time I have a little slip of paper, like a receipt, that I have to take a picture of and send to my accountant. But the clean desk is working great. All right, computer off. That was the next thing I wanted to do. I wanted it so that I could I wanted to have it so I turn my computer off every night. Because if you start the day, I just found starting out the day with my browsers open and having 30 or 40 tabs of things like, oh, I want to get to that. Oh, I'll leave that open because I still need to do that. It was just not a good fresh start to the day for me. And so what I did was, every night I close, for the most part. I'll probably give myself a 95% on this. There's some days where I do leave it running because I do have a few things that I really need to focus on or in the middle of. I want leave open as a reminder in a browser. But for the most part, I do turn my computer off every night. Now, I know last year, I don't have this in my notes, but I know last year I set a goal that I was going to turn my computer off at 10 o'clock at night. I was going to stop working at 10 o'clock and just be done. And I'll let you know that I'm not doing very well with that. Partly because I'm still catching up on my inbox, but partly too just there's a lot of work to do. And I'm working on that. So as far as my little sub goal there to turn the computer off at 10 o'clock and stop working, I would have to give myself a fail on that. I just don't do it consistently. So, my desk is clean every night. The computer, 95% of the time, if not a higher percent of the time, is turned off. Now let's talk about the zero inbox. My goal was to have a zero inbox. This dates back to 2020 when on the way back from Focus on the Future in Spain, a Joomla event there, I went and stayed with Phil Taylor for 3 days in Jersey. Had a great time there. And one of the things I noticed was that he had a zero inbox. So we'd come in from being out sightseeing or somewhere we'd gone, and he'd sit down at his computer, he would just check his emails. And if he had 5 emails, he dealt with them. And then his inbox was empty, and then he just went on and continued on doing other things, the things that we were doing or the work that he had to do. And I really like that. So I've had that goal to get there for a long time, and I have ended out a couple of years with I don't know if I ever really hit zero in the inbox, but where all the mail was taken care of that needed to be taken care of. But it wasn't empty. And so that was a goal I set last year. Now, I set again to keep trying. Now, I want you to know that right now, I have 57 emails in my inbox. which is a huge improvement. In fact, I was down to, I think, 30 emails Christmas Eve. Some of the emails that are in my inbox right now are spam emails from a Russian bot that found the contact form on the basic Joomla channel. And so that was, so that I need to knock down. A few people have asked, some of them are just business things now. But the oldest email that I have, and let me just look at that in a different program here, a different window, I mean. The oldest email I have is from September. September 9th is the oldest email. I'll just look at my screen here over on the other side here. And yeah, September 9th. Okay, so September 9th is my oldest email. So that's pretty good. And then I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 from September. So I did not reach the 0 inbox. A couple of months ago, I had, well, I still have a few days left to reach that. But a couple of months ago, I had over 500 emails in my inbox. And felt quite overwhelmed by catching up and the things to do. I had and this is where I talk about this other mug, and you've seen it in the live stream. So I have this, my sites.guru mug. And so what I started doing was I have these glass beads. You'll hear this when I dump them in. I had, I put this in front of my face. I had 50 glass beads, and every day I dumped them out of my desk, and I would start, every time I finished a task or caught up on an email, I would drop one of those beads in a mug, and my goal was to do 50 a day, and I figured 50 a day I would catch up in, maybe 10 days at that rate. However, you've got emails coming in, and also some of the emails involve a lot more work than just doing something quickly. And then also, I have discovered the cause of my self-destructive habit. Now you'll wonder, well, what's that all about? I've talked about a bit about it on the live stream in other episodes. But here's the deal. And as I look back on my goals for previous years, for instance, in 2023, the goal was no videos on Facebook. Last year, a personal goal was no more YouTube puddle. All right, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But I have found at times regularly in my work, in my business, that when I reach a certain point and there's work to be done, I'll watch a YouTube video, and then I just end up watching YouTube videos for hours. And it has been, it got me super behind. And I think was something that was part of a larger thing in my life that I could not figure out. And that is why it is just that when I get to a certain level, the things that I do that are easy for me, that's great. But the things that have to be done that are challenging for me, well, that's a different issue. And I have noticed over the years, especially as I get older, the pattern where I just sort of get going so far as in my ideas, being successful and working on my business. And then I just do something that's self-sabotaging, not self-destructive, self-sabotaging. Not self-sabotaging the way that I'm just a flaming, crashing wreck and the whole world wonders, whatever happened to Tim Davis. But just never allowing myself to, just always finding a way to keep myself from reaching the next level or the top level of success. So for instance, when I bought that business at the beginning of 2023, which worked out really well, that was great. I got the deal done. It was great. But then there's a lot of administrative and setup and contacting clients and quoting them on migrations for sites. And once I got it, I just started self-sabotaging and just doing the bare minimum that was needed, and then knowing, I can always catch up later on. That's how I end up with way behind my inbox. Now, I'm going into this at length because I think this is something that many people might be able to relate to. I went out for coffee with a friend from the Chamber of Commerce here. I was telling him about the self-destructive, self-sabotaging I was doing. He just always says, tell me more. He says, because I do the same thing. His was not videos, but his was limiting himself in not going after some of the bigger clients that he could. Just thinking that maybe he couldn't land them or get them. So, anyways, I've noticed that in my life, and I realized the cause of it. I've learned the cause of it, and I'll just briefly tell you why. And again, some of you have heard this before. I've talked privately with a few of you too about it. We did a program at my church called Freedom Sessions. And the purpose of this Freedom Sessions is based on the 12 steps. So you're maybe familiar with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. But it's based on those 12, it's a 12-step program. And it's reconfigured. It's not just looking at alcoholism, because I actually really don't drink. Just not really don't have a taste for it. But it looks at the drugs of choice that we have in our lives that we use to mask the pain that we have. All right, so the classics are, I think the classics in the sense that everyone knows is alcohol, drugs, pornography, workaholism, entertainment, sports. Just about now, sports. I'm not saying that sports is like alcoholism, but a lot of people will use sports. A lot of people will use things to excess in their life to bury pain or to avoid pain that they have. And so my drug of choice has been for years, especially since I've been full-time in my business, has been videos and doom scrolling on Facebook and watching Facebook Reels once they came out. And, so you just, I would get up in the morning, have my breakfast, sit down on the couch in front of the TV, put on YouTube, watch a few videos while I ate lunch. And the next thing I know, 3 hours had passed by because it's just one more. And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just tired, I deserve a break. It was just like this compelling, like addiction, just to watch one more. Avoiding something and never really knowing what I was avoiding. So basically the premise of this program that we're doing at the church called Freedom Sessions is to take a look, is to discover the source of pain in our life. And it's most often, very often, pain from our childhood. And find the mechanisms that we use to cope and to deal with that pain, because when you're a kid, things happen. You just don't have the ability to process everything that's been said to you or that you're feeling. Anyway, so the things that you've built into your life to avoid dealing with that pain, figure out what the pain is, the cause of it, and then to begin to work through the steps so that you are no longer affected by that pain, and then you no longer need the behavior that helps you to avoid the pain. And so for me, with respect to self-sabotaging, I discovered through this program a memory as a child. I would be 11 or 12 or 13, still a child. And I can say still a child now because I'm 59. Someone that I loved very, very much saying something to me. And it was, they said to me, there's 3 ways to do everything. Tim's way, no, the right way, the wrong way, and Tim's way. And that person didn't say that to be mean or hurtful. I think they probably observed me doing something that I didn't do the right way, but somehow it still worked, but it wasn't the best way. But I, through this program, it helped me to realize that the first time that I ever really felt the way that I do when I'm just watching too many videos or just avoiding work, was when that was said to me, and that in my mind, I just came to the conclusion that I could figure things out, but I couldn't figure things out the best way. And and then, seeing that, I could therefore then look at other episodes in my life when I was in college, and when different churches I was pastoring out, different things that I had, even just my whole approach to life, even in hobbies, thinking like, yeah, I can do these things, but I'm never going to be able to get to the top perfect level. I'm never going to be able to figure out and be successful like I see other people comes natural to them. And so that belief, I realized was what was behind my have realized is what was behind my self-sabotaging. And so and with that in mind, with self-sabotaging. And so first of all, I had, once I realized that false narrative, or sort of that false overlay that I interpreted that comment and let have its way in my whole life, I realized, hey, that's not true. That's not, I'm not destined to not be able to figure out the best way. I'm not cursed. There's not something lacking in me that I can try. I can figure those things out. It is possible, and that God wants me to be successful. Now, I'm not talking about like, oh, I should be stinking rich and all of us should be millionaires. Not that nonsense that people think that, oh, God's plan is to make us rich, but that I am able, I am able to succeed. And so, realizing that was the reason that I was self-sabotaging, I no longer need to watch videos to avoid reaching the point where I realize I can't figure out the best way, or I'm not going to make it. You see, because for me, the self-sabotaging was, hey, I know what to do. I know all the things I could, but never actually going all the way to try, because then I don't have to avoid the failure or the realization that is true, that there's 3 ways to do everything. Right way, the wrong way, and my way. And so that has been incredibly powerful, and I have been set free from that lie in my life. Now, I'm not free from the habit of watching videos, so I have to be very, very careful and disciplined in that as well, because still it's easy to just waste hours watching videos. So I'm working on breaking that habit, but the cause of it, the self-sabotaging, is gone. And so consequently, when I say I'm down to 57 emails, and I know that I am going to reach a 0 inbox very soon. Probably not before the end of the year, because some of the ones that I'm behind on require a lot of work. But I am confident that I'm going to be successful, and that I'm actually going to get to the point where in my business, I am disciplined, and I'm going to be able to just sit down and open, instead of spending all my time thinking about how much behind I am in my business. I'm actually going to be able to work on my business and keep up, and then move forward on things that I would like to do. And now my self-destructive putting things off has changed now, where I am so excited and enjoying so much working and catching up that I have to stop myself from working too much. So I've gone from working a bit, but then self-sabotaging and watching and then putting things off. And now at the point where I'm working like I have never worked before. Now, I'm not saying I was lazy before. Like I said, things that were easy for me are easy to do. Same for all of us. But when some of the administrative and some of the writing and desk work, oh my goodness, super hard. The other thing, just as a side, what I discovered is that the reason that I was staying up so late at night was because once I got tired enough, I could actually It's almost like I was using tiredness as a drug. I could actually start to get some work done that I was just putting off because it had to be done. And so the fact that I was tired, so I had to get it done so I could go to bed, was sort of a coping mechanism, or just using tiredness as a drug. And so I am not doing that anymore. I still work late sometimes, but it's just because I've got this work that I'm trying to catch up on. All of this to say, and I know that's kind of long, but I just wanted to share that because even though we're still talking about business, it's an area of personal growth and freedom that I now have in my life that is already transforming my work and other things. I think maybe you guys have noticed at times that I've worn gloves on live streams, and that is because I've just had terrible eczema for a couple of years now. I won't go into all the details of everywhere that it is, but on my body. But my skin is better than it's been in years now, and that's because once I got my emails down to under 100, and they all fit on one screen on Gmail, I started realizing, hey, I'm actually catching up. And then I begin the day, and the numbers would be up, but they were staying under 100. And I thought, hey, I'm actually going to be able to do this. And it just changed for me. So the clean desk, yes, I'm going to give myself 100% on that, because when I do leave things out, it just has to be, it's just something, because there's work to do. Turn my computer off every night. Yes, give myself 95% on that. On the zero inbox for 2024, I'm going to give myself a 90%. It's not at zero, but I've learned and I've grown, and it's going really well. And I know that I'm going to reach it soon, and I'll of course share that on the stream when I do. I am sure. All right. So now last year, when I was talking about videos, I just said that I was going to start, instead of watching videos on YouTube and all that, I was going to start listening to ebooks. Now, part of that was because I was just trying to stop watching videos, and I just shared how that was not going well with my self-sabotaging. But I did start listening to ebooks. You remember at the end of 2023, I started listening to the E-Myth Revisited. All right, and I'm going to get that link right here, and I'll share it in chat. This was a book recommended to me by a client in the UK, and it really, really helped me get clarity on a new level of how to focus and orient my business. And so that was and organize it. So that so I started listening to that in 2023, and I think I was still listening to it. Don't remember exactly, as the year ended. But I decided that I was going to, and I think in the video I said I'm going to listen to 12 audiobooks in the coming year. And so I'm currently listening to the 5th. So as far as listening to 12, obviously 5 out of 12, that's a failing grade. But the books that I've listened to have been very impactful. And I've got something out of each one of them. One was more for entertainment purpose, but even in entertainment, I think you can learn things. So the E-Myth is a book that I listened to. The next book that I listened to after that was, in fact, let me just copy this link here. Let's just make sure that these links that I'm sharing are the ones. Yeah, okay. So the next one I listened to was this book by Colin Jost, who is the head writer for Saturday Night Live. And I really like him, and I thought, I saw that, I'm going to listen to that book. And I listened to it. So it was very interesting. One of the things that, it was very funny, and it's very interesting to get to know him more. But also some of the work that he has put into getting to where he is in his career, and even the demands of writing for SNL that was very interesting to learn. Not really a business book, but I listened to that. All right, after I finished listening to that, I got this book here called Atomic Habits. Now, this was a really profitable listen for me because it says tiny changes, remarkable results, atomic habits. This started paving the way for some of the things that I am doing now. So, for instance, I'm going to give you two examples about habits, principles that got out here. One, it was talking about how the habits that we do, we begin to associate with locations. So, for instance, I mentioned I would get my breakfast. I'd come down, sit on the couch, turn on YouTube video, and start watching video having breakfast. And I'd done that so much, not only was I watching lots of videos for the self-sabotaging thing, but basically my brain knew that, oh, this is what we do when we're having breakfast. We sit here and we watch videos for a couple of hours. And so I was not creating a winning environment for me to watch less videos by doing the same thing over and over again. And so what I changed is this. I now make my breakfast. I usually have 2 English muffins, 3 small mandarin oranges, and a glass of apple juice. And I will set up my phone and I'll go to YouTube and I sit at the kitchen table now. I watch my favorite videos while I'm eating breakfast. And then when the food is gone, that's it. Video time is over, and I come downstairs and go to work and get working on things. So just the change in location helped me to not be watching videos. That was even before I figured out the whole self-sabotaging issue. And so Atomic Habits was really a really good book. And I like it too because it's practical, because the focus is on tiny little changes making results. And so it's like this. If you are, we just make room to do different things, and that produces results in our lives. And so for instance, when I talk about the my eczema being clearer now that I have less stress because I got my emails down, my inbox getting closer to zero, is interesting because now that my skin is better, I sleep better at night. I'm not itchy. Well, now that I sleep better, my skin is better because I'm getting better sleep. And then because I'm getting better sleep, I have a clearer thought process, and that helps me to be more present and have more energy for dealing with the goals and the things that I'm doing. So, Atomic Habits, very helpful because it has just helped me to do some things. That's where I got the habit of having the, earlier in the stream, take these glass beads every time I do a task, drop it in the mug. But I'll tell you this, that was working really well for me. But now that I'm to the point now where I don't need to use that mug anymore because other things have taken place in my life, like the self-sabotaging realization. But I don't need that anymore. So I'm actually going to get rid of those beads and put them away because they were a great tool to help me for coping. But all these little changes have turned into remarkable results in my life. So that was a book that I've listened to. Now, then the next one, and this one is sort of off-brand for me. I'm going to copy this. It is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. All right. And I guess this is a podcast that Mark Manson does. It's been around for he's been around for a while. A lot of these books I'm listening to say to people, hey, I'm listening to this. Oh, yeah, I read that years ago. Oh, it's okay. So I'm behind the times. But when I saw this title, I thought, well, I want to listen to this book because I get obsessed about too many things. I did not think that this was going to be a book about not caring about anything. And I was right. This is, especially after listening to this little teaser in it, But this is a book that talks about caring about the right things, caring about the right things. And it was a good book. I don't agree with everything in this book. I don't necessarily, and that's fine. I think part of, I think what we need to recapture in our world is the ability to listen to people's discussions and ideas and evaluate them and weigh them and take what is good and reject what is bad or that we disagree with. And so so there are a few things in this book that are like, oh, that's not really how I see the world. But it was nonetheless really, really good book to listen to. If you're part of the small businesses building websites with Joomla user group, we had a little gift exchange this month in the normal Jug meeting, Joomla user group meeting, and we were all sharing stuff that we've learned from books that we've read or listened to. And I shared something from this book, and I'll share it with you again. And that was a discussion about pain is inevitable. So you see, and so what that speaks to is, what Mark Manson says is that there's some people that are forever searching for a way of life that is going to make them just be happy all the time and have no suffering. And he points out that does not exist. Hello, Stefan in chat. Good to see you. And yes, very happy and prosperous 2025 to you too. Thanks for popping in here today. So what Mark Manson says is that what we should pursue is a life that has the problems that we want to be we want to be solving. All right. So for instance, like he points out, people, they buy the house of their dreams, and then next thing you know, they've got to maintain it, and there's maintenance and the cost of that and taking care of it. People marry the woman or the man of their dreams, and suddenly that's the person that you fight with, and there's problems, and you have to sort those things out. So when it comes to business, and this was the application I took, because there have been times where it's like, all right, so I'm self-employed, I've got my business, and then at times there are frustrating things that come along, and it's like, oh, why is this a problem? Why do I have to deal with this? And this book helped me to be able to answer the question, that question, why? Why do I have to deal with this? Because these are the problems that come with the life that I want to have. These are the problems that come with the business that I'm running. So these are problems that I want to be solving, because I could just go and get a job and work for someone else, and then there'd be other problems. I have to deal with the coworker who's annoying. I have to definitely be up on time and at the office at a certain hour. I'm responsible to someone else for work. I have to do what I'm told, and those are problems that people like to solve because they don't want to have their own business. They like to just work and then have their time away from work. But for me, those the problems that come along as a business owner, instead of me now getting all frustrated, like, why can't this just work smarter or smoother, or why couldn't this person do this or that? I just like, no, this is what I do, and that has given me. So that's the subtle art of just not giving an F, in the sense of, that's the subtle art of just some things like, I'm not going to get upset about those things because those are the problems that I want to be solving. All right, now lastly, right, so I told you 5. This is one I'm in the midst of listening to, and it is called my personal the personal BA MBA. I'll put that link there. I'm going to put all these links in the video description after as well. But the personal MBA, so Josh Kaufman, and basically the premise of his book is this. That he was just about to go and get an MBA, Masters of Business something. I forget what the MBA stands for. 2 years, you're going to cost him $150,000. And he read an article that he realized that was talking about how you didn't need an MBA, that you could learn the things in business and that to be successful in business. And this fellow had already been researching things and had a list of things of how he had learned, because he was in a business program. He was doing an internship at Procter and Gamble, but he didn't have an MBA. He was thinking about getting one once he finished business school. And the business degree or whatever he was enrolled in. And he realized that he had all these resources. He shared them with the person who wrote the article. That person shared them on his blog, or tweeted them out, or on his social media. And then suddenly thousands of people were coming to this guy for these tips and learning. And basically what he's saying is that you don't need an MBA. You don't need to go to school for 2 years and spend upwards of $150,000, depending on which school you go to get an MBA. That all that you need to be successful, you can learn. And so, and this book is like 12 hours long. So I am slowly listening to it, and I've learned some things from that. And actually, we talk about the small changes that happen, the significant changes that happen from small, tiny changes, remarkable results. The remarkable results that happen from tiny changes. This is a great book to be listening to, because it's building up on some of the other things that I've learned from the other books already. And I know I'm going to get good things out of this. Here's the other thing too. I think sometimes, and I don't think that this speaks to me like thinking that I can't figure out the best way of things, but sometimes we think we have to be so studious and 100% successful in everything that we do, that every book that we get, we're going to just consume it and get every last bit of drop of knowledge out of it. I like listening and getting things out of things. Just get a little bit out of it. One of the things for me as a retired pastor is when I listen to a sermon, I mean, the temptation, you could sit there and say, well, I would use a different illustration. Oh, I would have closed it up this way. Or, what I do is I try to get something personal out of sermons that I listen to when I'm at church or listening to other people speak, just to get something for myself. And that is, and that feeds me and builds me up. And so that's what I'm doing with these ebooks. So the personal MBA, I've already picked up some things. Already I picked up, he looks at the number of different kinds of products that you can sell. You can sell, for instance, you can make income by leasing assets. So you buy something and you lease it out to someone, they pay you money, and then so that's how it works with leasing cars. You sell a solution to someone, or solve frustration is another one. There are subscriptions, again, a subscription model. So that's like inkjet cartridges when you think about it. People, printers are cheap, ink's expensive, because they want you to use the printers. If you buy a printer, you're going to keep coming back for more and more for ink. And so anyways, it goes into a number of things. And then some businesses can make offerings, 2 or 3 offerings of what that meet these different types of supplies or services that you can provide, or products. And so that's one of the things that I realized, that some of what I offer through my monthly management package ticks a few of these boxes. I'm solving frustration. I'm freeing up people's time, providing a service. And but it really speaks to maybe different ways that I would promote it with different people or different places. So, so even though I said last year I was going to listen to 12 ebooks, I think I said that, I'm working on the 5th, but it has been really, really good. And I listen to them while I'm driving and just let them kind of sink in and soak in. And it's working really well. So I don't know what I'll listen to next after the personal MBA, but like I said, we'll put the links all down below. All right, so in 2024, it says I fired my 2023 bookkeeper. So I was doing the books for my business, I was doing them poorly, and the accountant that I would take my books to said to me at the end of 2023, it would cost you the same amount to have us do your books as it would for us to fix your books. And so I mentioned last year that I'd fired my accountant. Well, in the last 12 months, even though it's been expensive having someone else do my books, I have freed up probably 60 hours a month, 60 frustrating hours a month, me doing my own books. And now I got a letter in the mail from the government the other day, and usually it'd be like, oh no, what am I behind on? And now when I get mail from the government, it's just, oh, some information about my business I need to know. And this last one was that they said because I was regular with doing my payroll deductions, and they were below a certain amount, but because I hadn't been late in the previous 12 months, I could then file quarterly. So it's like, oh, that's nice. So everything's under control with my accountant. They tell me when I need to pay, what to file, how to do it, when to do it, and it is marvelous. So yeah, firing my bookkeeper. The odd time there's something I try to figure out and I realize, oh, all I have to do is ask them a question now, and I just fire it off, and it's really good. Coming up, this will be the first full year that they've been doing my book, so I'm going to have to do a bunch of work for year-end stuff when they ask for certain things, information, and gather it. And part of me would have thought in the past, oh, I hate that. Why do I have to do this? But I now know that it's just something. That's just a pain that comes along with my business, and so I do it. And yeah, and that's helped me with my inbox now. Something comes in, oh, it's a government thing. I have to file this or a task. I do it right away, and it's done, and it's clear, and it is really, really, really good. All right. I said in 2024 I was going to build out a team, and I have been getting better at having a team, and I continue to need to be better at that. And I also know that I have people with certain kinds of sites that come along that I'm going to be able to lean on to get projects to them. And so one of the things I found as trying, this is another thing that came out of that Freedom Sessions, was that we're going through this this self-reflective exercise. It's also spiritual exercise, and it's like, what is it that God is telling you to do next? And the message was like, yeah, Tim, you've got to stop trying to do everything yourself. You really you've got to get this team thing down. And then the whole principle is, well, what God says to do on, what God says tonight, I'll show him tomorrow that I'm doing. So I got up the next day and I just started delegating and giving things to people, to my team. And that was, yeah, so... But in going through my inbox, I keep finding things I'm behind on giving quotes. And, it's funny, when you give a quote on something or a proposal for a site, sometimes it's months before it actually comes back to you from the people, even with following up. Although, when I've been behind, I need to follow up as well. So some of these emails, once I finish them, get the proposal, I have a note to task to follow up sooner as well. So that's all coming along. Joomla training cohort, distribute the load of free support, trying to use my forum as a place where people can ask questions instead of me just answering once when they email me. That is there's like 10%, maybe 5% progress on that. So that is still not going along super well. My goals last year for 2024, unfollow unhealthy Facebook people. I think that's become a habit now. I just, whenever you cringe or you kind of just think, oh, what's going on? You read Facebook and like, oh, that person again. I just unfollow them now because I don't, social media is something for me to promote my business, stay connected with friends and family, and just be a positive thing. And when it's not positive, it's taking from me, and I don't need that taken. I don't need things taken from me. I'm trying to keep going here and accomplish quite a few things. So I'm always on the watch for Facebook people that just are unhealthy in their feeds, and then I unfollow them. Get out of bed sooner, not work past 10 p.m. That was a personal goal. There have been, when I am sleeping well, like when I get to bed earlier at night, I do wake up in the morning. I have an easier time getting up with some morning appointments. This week? Yeah, this is Friday. This week I had three mornings up, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, up early, or had to get up to go places, and it's a bit easier not working late. So, but that's so that's something I still need to keep working on. I mentioned about the No More YouTube Puddle Audible books. I've talked a lot about that. And one of the things I mentioned too was spend more time with men at my church. I wanted to spend time getting to know the men at my church, having coffee with them, and I just think that I need to be in relationship with men that are encouraging me, impacting me, and that I have a connection with. And that really happened in October when I started doing this program, this Freedom Session program, the 12-step program. I was asked if I'd help facilitate a table because we break up into groups after we watch videos in a full session. And then, but also I was going through the program as well because they encourage you to work through the material and see if there's stuff there. And so I'm super happy that I'm spending more time with men at my church. And that has really paid off because I have some really solid relationships that are really encouraging and that are really meaningful in my life. They impacting me spiritually in my walk with Jesus. They're impacting me as a man, impacting me in business as I see that, there's other men that are self-employed and understand where I'm at. It impacts me because some of the men are in the same stage of life as me. And but it really, really is good. So when I go to a men's breakfast at the church, or I'm at church on Sunday, and even in fact after this live stream, I'm meeting up with two men from that program that I'm in. We're in groups called triads, so we're going to touch base and talk about how we're doing with the things that we're working on. That just really is good. It's otherwise there'd be too much isolation in my life. I need that relationship. I think we all do. So yeah, spend more time with men at my church. I'm going to give myself 100% on that one because that's how that one was working out. Now, what else have we got here? So that was my goals. That was looking back on what I was going to do in 2024. So 2025, what are my goals? Well, business. Let's fix up my little notes here. So this was so easy, good to find from last year. All right, so business, 0 inbox. I know I'm going to have a 0 inbox very, very soon. Not before the end of the year, but in 2025, early on in 2025, I'm going to reach that 0 inbox goal. And that, will it be in January? I think it will be in January because I've been going really well. Yes, Stefan, all the goals are very important. Yeah. Here's a new one. Actually, this one isn't. This one's moved. This is in the wrong spot here. Let me just move. I've got my notes over here. Buy another business. I would love to buy another business. That one worked out really well that I bought in 2023. I did not buy a business in 2024. There was actually one business that I almost ended up picking up from someone that was closing, but then I think they changed their mind. So I'm just standing by on that. I did have I was put in touch in the fall with someone who's closing a hosting business, and they had a couple of clients that they wanted. They're still looking for a home. So I did pick up some clients from a business that was closing. I didn't buy the whole business, and actually they just gave me those clients, so that was good. But I would love to buy another business and pick up some more clients, especially now that I'm excited that with this self-sabotaging thing solved, I know that it could be even more. I'm excited about building my business up. And so buying another business. The team building, I will have to continue to work on that because that's something that I'm learning. And something that to be successful, I have to do that. And I can figure it out. It's not that I can't figure it out. I can do it, and I'm changing, and I'm seeing lots of progress in that as well. All right. So 0 inbox, buy another business, team building. Audible books. I'm going to keep listening to Audible and keep learning from that. And we'll see what new truths come out of that I can learn from for the business. I feel like there's one other here that just came into my mind. Will I put on the Joomla training cohort? I should, because I keep failing every year. Maybe we can get that up and happening better. Also, I need to have some more. I need to set some fees, even just for myself. I get a lot of emails with people asking for ideas and about things, and I love to help. And a lot of it I can just answer quickly. But also, I notice that sometimes it becomes something that is cutting down on my time for keeping up and building my business and keeping up in the work that I have. So I need to put some set fees together and be more firm in charging those things. And I'm not saying, hey, that's it, no more free help. I just sometimes I try to do something quick to help, and I realize, I'm hours into trying to figure it out, and I think this is not the best use for building up my business, because I need to be finding work and getting quotes out so that I can pass them along to the people that are helping me with sites and pass them along to the team. So that would be something that would be really good. Now, if we get down to personal goals that I have here, all right, so I'm going to unfollow unhealthy Facebook people, because I just think that social media health is something that we need to focus on. I'm also going to leave get out of bed sooner, not work past 10 p.m. on there. I think as I get into a better schedule, that's going to be easier. Stefan says, remember, when people ask for simple things, it has taken years of experience on how to solve them. So that's worth a fee for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I appreciate that, Stefan. Yeah, I know this is one of the things that I talk often with Joe Sunny about, and that is how much we charge and how much it's worth in what we're doing. And so I need to do that. And I appreciate people that appreciate time. Yeah, if you've got clients that appreciate your time and are willing to pay and are glad to pay, then that is good. You need clients like that. So I will work to get out of bed sooner, and I will work at not working past 10 o'clock. I think that will come when I get caught up on things. When I get to the zero inbox and get caught up, then that will be good. And that's it's very interesting, because it's taken me years to get me into the hole that I'm in as far as being behind on things. So I technically don't really know what it's like to experience having a business where I'm on top of things and not behind. And I've always thought, well, I'm just always going to be behind, because that's how I am. I can't, I'm pretty good at stuff, but I'm not going to reach that level. But now I realize that I can, and I've gotten tastes of it as I work away at my inbox and get things solved and tasks solved and am keeping up. I do still want to spend. I'm going to spend time with men at my church. I'll change that from more time to spend time with men in my church. That's a personal goal. Here's another one that I came across. So when we're doing that book sharing thing in the Joomla user group that I belong in, someone talked about a book they read about not just decluttering, but just having less. I forget the title of the book, but the basic premise of the book is that when you own everything you own takes a little bit out of you, right? And so I have this idea that for 2025, I'm going to throw out 365 things. Every day, I'm going to set the goal to every day look for something that I can throw out. Now, there's lots of low-hanging fruit for me. I've got the cupboard in the office back here. It's jammed. It's got a lot of things, but I know there's some things in there that it's like, I just could put this little box away. Maybe I need it. And clutter starts to build up. I'm going to throw out 365 things in this next year, one a day, just to cut down on clutter, just to cut down on the things that are always drawing energy from me. Recently I bought rolls of the little Velcro strips that you can use for bundling wires so they're tidy. I've been using those just so things aren't so many wires all over the place and visually. So I even look over the TV in our living room here. I bundled the wires down the back, so that's great. And just taking care of things like that. But yeah, I'm going to throw out 365 things in my in the coming year. And I got my shop out back that I can tidy up. I'm just going to keep an eye out for things that I can toss. I'm even looking, but so I was saying, looking around on my desk here, I really don't have with my desk clean, I don't have anything to throw out. Although, even having said that, I've got a couple of things here that I don't need to have on my desk. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at for 2025. And boy, I'd like to think of what the other one thing in my business that just came along. You maybe have noticed on the channel the last couple of months I've not been keeping up with Maintenance Mondays every Monday. And even one live stream I couldn't. Well, that was because of an emergency for a client. But basically, I want to get back to making more videos, at least regularly, and more videos that need to be done. And I can't. I've not been able to do that as I try to take care of catching up. Catching up is almost like stirring up radioactive dust around Chernobyl. You have to deal with it as soon as you stir it up. You got an email that's sitting there, and then I deal with it, and I say, hey, sorry, it's been so long. I'm working on my inbox. Do you still need help with this? And they say, yes. Well, now I got to deal with it right away. But it is coming along well. Well, I feel like that's everything that I have to say, other than, and there's not too many people watching today because it's an off day, but other than to just thank everybody for a great year here on the channel. I really appreciate people that come on the live stream. If you're watching the replay of this, missed you here live, but that's understandable. We've got lots going on, and it is a Friday, not a Wednesday. So thank you everybody for your support of the channel, and thanks too for being good online therapists in the sense that talk about what I have, my goals and what's going well, but also areas that I didn't go well. I would just sum up all of these goals and this whole process this way, as I have mentioned other years in the past. Be kind to yourself. There's no sense going into a new year beating yourself up and feeling horrible about things. That's not the atmosphere that change happens in our life. I mean, sure, if sometimes there's things that we're really brokenhearted that we've done or caused or something. I get all that. And that we can move forward from that. But if we're down on ourselves, feeling guilty, and are super negative, and I'm not talking about positive thinking, everything will work out, because that doesn't always work. But what really doesn't work is just being mean to yourself and then trying to bring about change. The greatest change that happened to me this year, I can say for me personally, one was back in early October. I spent a day with my natural father, who I've been estranged from for basically like 36 years. And that solved something else that has been stuck in me since I was a little boy. And then going to this program at my church, I thought I was going to use it to help dismantle the coping things I put in my life because of being estranged from my natural father. And then it turned out to be something else, and that really changed me. It's changed my whole perspective, not only just on work but in other things in life, and then all those other changes. So that came about from not punishing myself and being closed up, but it came about from being open, and it came about for me, and just trying to walk the life that Jesus wants me to walk, and also amazing gifts and touches in my life from him at this time. And so that has really, really just super transformed me. Those are two things, and there's been lots that happened during the year, but those just been absolutely just amazing things. And so as you move forward into 2025 and set your own goals and have your own things you're looking at and things that you would like changed or resolved or whatever like that, be kind to yourself. Bring yourself into wide open spaces as far as your expectations and what you want to do and how you feel about yourself. And of course, like I said, the personal encounter that I have in my walk with Jesus and following him and talking to him, and I believe in him working my life, makes all the difference. If it wasn't for that, I would still just be struggling away, trying to do it my own way and my own strength, even with the help of these books and stuff that I've read. It wasn't until I really found the healing inside myself from that thing that was said to me as a kid that really brought me into the freedom what I should have and that God wants for me. So anyways, thanks for letting me share that with you all, and and I just pray that you have in 2025 that together we will have the same experience of freedom and the newness of life and openness that we can have, that I experienced in a number of ways in 2024. All right, let me just go to here. I should have made myself big while I was talking about this. Yeah, I did not change the picture, but the last couple weeks. So everybody, Stefan, we got a few people that are lurking there. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks again for being my online friend. Jeff, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, kind comment. I thank you for being here today. Hey, if any of you guys want to talk privately about some of the stuff that I've shared, I'd be more than happy. There's my email address. Just reach out. Happy New Year to you too, Stefan. I'm going to find my sad music button here to end the live stream. Everybody, thank you for joining in today or for watching. And we'll just sign off for the last time this year. Oh, remember, January 1st is a Wednesday, so first live stream will be January the 8th, Wednesday, January the 8th. So for now, we'll just sign off for the last time in 2024. As usual, I hope that wherever this finds you, be it morning, evening, afternoon, or tomorrow, that you are well. Until the next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.